everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is my pools video for Fran and Jegran, but I'll explain why. For anybody new to the channel, I skip blue orbs, let the gold orbs play out. A lot to go over in the video, so I'm gonna get straight into it. Fran, I'm willing to go in all 300 tickets that I have to get her LD, because I do think that the call that you get from her LD is actually one of the better LD calls in the game. If you're a new player to the game, this is a must pull for you. Although she's not a huge damage dealer, she's going to help you clear enough. She does enough damage to clear a lot of older content. And I'm going to get straight into her debuff, which is the whole reason of why you're pulling for her and why I'm spending resources on her anyway, which is her Vera's punishment that you get by using any skill at all, like any skill. But the difference is now with her LD Celestial Rain is that it enhances that debuff. And so it's gonna enhance it, where instead of maxing out at 5 stacks, it's gonna now max out at 10 stacks. And so at 10 stacks, you're gonna get a boost on a lot of stuff. So now you get a 40% defense down, 20% attack and magic attack down, brave gain to the enemy minus 80%, stuff like that. So yeah, here I actually this part is funny. So I end up pulling Jegran's burst here. Okay, so this is the thing, is that although I'm super surprised that I got his burst, I'm not excited about it. I'm just surprised. And the reason being is that Jegran sucks in damage unless you spend a lot of resources on him, like greening him, or at least going 2 out of 3. Just 2 out of 3. That's what you gotta do to really make this man worth it. But I'll explain. We'll get to him later. Anyway, back to Fran. So with Fran, you need to be at 10 stacks in order to get the full effect of this debuff. I'm not even gonna go to the specifics of what you get when it's not at 10. Let's just pretend everything is literally cut in half. So instead of like 40% defense down, you're gonna get 20, right? And so you're gonna see that the biggest things you're gonna get from it, besides the defense down, is brave damage taken to the enemy 40%, and HP damage taken 30% to the enemy, plus it's going to inflict range resistance down on them. And that's huge, because now it opens up the ability for a lot of ranged attackers to do a lot more damage, aside from already increasing the amount of brave and HP damage the enemy takes and lowering down their defense. Now, if you see here on the yellows, or orange, whatever you want to call that, is going to be her call ability, which means if you don't have her in the party and use her as a call, you're not going to get that brave gain down of 80%. You're only going to inflict 10% down. Speed also, instead of 20, goes down to 10. And brave and HP damage taken also go down dramatically. Brave damage taken goes from 40 down to 10. From the HP from 30 down to 10. Now, it's still a good call though, because you're still getting that 40% defense down, and you're also getting the range resistance down as well on top of that. So even then, I still think it's a very good call to have, because it's still going to make a lot of units hit a lot harder, and you're doing so much with one debuff. So that's why I think she's really good to have. One of the things, I kind of plan on using her also in the party when I can, because the fact that you do get that additional huge, 40% brave damage taken and HP damage taken up by 30%. And so if you're stacking that up and you have other units, that also have HP damage taken up, so even if you pair this one with the Kurasame call, things like that, that's something that you're going to be needing going into the Lufenia Plus, and especially at this point in time, I feel, in all the upcoming stages with so much defense up and all that good stuff. But one of the ways to use her is to have her in the party, use her LD, and then pretty much get her out. The way that, again, that you get to 10 stacks is just by doing damage to the target. It's kind of like Jack's call, if you're not familiar with that call. So you inflict that debuff, and then let's say you use her other LD or her other call, sorry, that's going to then increase the stack again. And then when you attack with one of your regular attacks or whatever, it's going to increase the stack again. You're going to get to 10 stacks extremely quickly. Her S1 doesn't do that much damage. It's called Feral Strike. And I'm not even going to go into her regular attacks that are not burst, or not the plus versions of them, because you're going to get to the plus versions of them fairly quickly. It's going to be a 4-hit brave HP attack delivered 3 times. And so then her S2 is going to be 3 alternating Brave split HP attacks done 4 times. So her S2 I think is going to do obviously more damage. And then her EX is I think one of her better moves, and it's a fast casting EX that is a 6 AoE Brave HP attack, split HP attack done 2 times. So that's going to be something that you're going to be using as soon as you get it as well. And I believe her EX counts as increasing her buff or something like that, which is going to be one of the orb requirements for one of the Lufenia fights. And so it's going to increase her aerial archer, I think, by 2 turns. And so that's where it's going to be able to help you with some of the Lufenia orbs. And her aerial archer is going to give her attack up, max brave up 60%, brave and HP damage up 20%. But if the target is debuffed, you also gain she gains a brave damage up of 50%. Now she doesn't give any of this to the party whatsoever, except honestly for the fact of the party max brave is going to go up by 45%. That's pretty much all she's going to give to the party, nothing else. So it's nothing big. She's not no aura bot. You're literally just bringing her in for her debuff, and that's it. So that's her in a nutshell. And then her AA is going to restore 1 use of her S2, and then party ranged attack goes up by 15% for 5 turns. So she's really contributing to ranged party members and stuff like that. So I'm excited for this one. So you can consider her a debuffer and a ranged attacker. I wish that they would have gave her just a little bit more damage on her kit. I think that you would have really felt like when you pulled on her kit, like it was worth it in a way. So so yeah, that's Fran in a nutshell there. So again, new players, I think you should be pulling for her. I think there's going to be a lot of people pulling for Fran. And here I do get her LD. So didn't have to spend too many tickets. I think that for the amount of tickets that I spent, which at this point was maybe like 200-ish, by getting Jegran's burst, getting her whole kit, that whole deal, I think that that's definitely a win-win situation. Now getting into Jegran, here I'm gonna go and I'm gonna try and get his kit for the sense of the fact that I got his burst. So okay, I'm gonna try it out. I think spending 100 tickets or so just to try to get his LD, the fact that I already have his burst, then I say why not. If I don't get it within that, I'm not going to be I'm not going to be going and grinding resources to get his LD, because I'm not going to be grinding him, and I am not going to be spending any more tickets or resources trying to get the rest of his kit. I would literally just probably end up, I don't think I would sell his burst, but I would just leave it there, to be honest with you. But other than that, he's a melee attacker, and he's also he does rainbow damage. And the rainbow damage comes more in the form of his burst. That's where I think that's where you end up seeing the rainbow damage. And his kit, honestly, is just, I don't know, I just feel like it's really bad. He doesn't do damage. I think one of his harder hitting moves is his S1, and I ended up getting his LD there. So again, didn't have to spend that many tickets. It was like 3 pulls within 2-3 pulls. I got his LD. So at this point, I'm gonna go in there and spend a little bit more, because all I need is his EX. So I'm willing to go in another 40-50 tickets or so just to try to get his EX. The fact that I already got his LD, so burst and LD is like, okay, why not go for his EX? And even if I didn't get it here, I would probably just come back and try to spend a couple more resources at that point. But anyway, going to his kit. His S1 is called Vacuum Slash, and it does a 3-hit Brave HP attack twice. 2 HP dumps, and it's single target. That's it. Everything he does inflicts a debuff called Crystallization. And that debuff, though, it's not something that is on the enemy, like over their head. It's actually just on them. If you've ever seen kind of the way that Prompto has like that effect on the enemy, where I think if they're broken, they kind of shine, whatever it is. But it's kind of the same thing. And So when the crystallization goes up to 3, right before his turn, he's going to it's going to trigger a move called Crystal Fist. And Crystal Fist is a 4 AoE Brave split HP attack delivered twice. He's going to gain Brave, which is 50% of the HP damage that he dealt. It's going to ignore defense, but then it's going to reset the crystallization stack down to 1. So you build it back up again. And so it's not like he's always doing this follow-up move. If they would have gave him like that follow-up move all the time, that's where he would do a lot more damage, a lot better, and I would actually definitely consider using him a lot more. I don't know if I would BT or green him, but yeah, you get it every once in a while, and it doesn't really make up for the fact of what his S2 does. His S2, it's a 6-hit AoE Brave split HP attack, and that's it. Just 1 HP dump. That's super sad, to be honest with you. It gives him a buff called High Commander Arts for 6 turns, which he still gets at the start of the match anyway, and that gives him attack and max Brave up, but that's it. And his Crystallized End, which is his EX, it is a fast EX, so you're going to it's going to do a 5-hit AoE Brave HP attack 2 times. So I mean, if you're really thinking about it, if you're not bluing him, if you're not really investing into him, even if you were to blue him, like think about 2 HP attacks. Even if he was to cap, what can he do? Probably like 2k damage, or a little bit over 2k damage. You know, so for me, that's just like, he's not a debuffer. He doesn't provide any auras to the party. He's not a healer. He doesn't provide battery to the party. He doesn't provide anything to the party. So if you're not doing any of that, then you're technically should be almost considered a damage dealer. But then here he is doing what, 200k? It's kind of like, and in his S2 he's only doing probably barely over 100k to each target. Like, he doesn't, that's the thing, is his kit sucks. Now when you get into his burst, when you do his burst, and it's literally just 0 out of, I think just his regular burst is just a 15-hit AoE Brave full HP attack. But then I think if you give him a book, he's going to end up doing 10 hit. So yeah, it's less hits, but it's 2 HP dumps. So technically it's going to be it's going to be better, because instead of 15 hits, now you're at 20 total hits, right? So instead of a 15 hit, 1 HP dump, it's 10 hits with an HP dump done twice. And then the Brave damage limit does go up substantially as well, from 120 to 250%, from 200% to 500%. And then if you get into his burst effect, he does give the party attack up 50%, Brave damage limit 20%, overflows, things like that. And all the enemies get crystallization and never lowers below 3, so he's technically always going to be doing a follow-up move, but only when his turn is up. It's not like Noctis, where it always does a follow-up no matter on who goes. And so you just have to wait for his turn. So technically, if his burst effect, you know, only whatever time it lasts, which is what, is it 6 turns? You're only going to get that you're only going to get 6 hits like that. Or 6 Crystal Fists, and so for me it's not worth it. And now when he is in the when he has his burst effect, all of the Brave hits are it's 100% guaranteed that all 100% of the Brave hits will be for max Brave damage, so rainbow damage. But it's just, for me, it's not enough. I think that the damage you're gonna deal from all those Crystal Fists, honestly, you're gonna do more damage with Machina coming up here in just one of his HP burst moves. It's just, that's the reason I'm not gonna go for him. There's a lot of people that do say he's underrated, and maybe he is. If he's one of your favorite characters, I mean, you can definitely use him. You know, there's always a way to use everybody in this game, but me personally, I don't plan on spending any resources. So if you pull for the banner, good luck, and see you in the next one. Hey guys, thanks for watching, and make sure you like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and let me know in the comments what you think about the banner, if you use tickets or gems, and also check out the links in the description for Opera Omnia websites that give you a bunch of useful information, and I'll see you in the next one.